He's standing what the fuck he said. He said what he said. I'm not mad at Skip. I do understand the backlash, but I definitely think y'all are mad at who said it as opposed to what was said. Okay. If this was the most beloved person in the world, if this was Deion Sanders, knock it the fuck off, dog.
Oh yeah, everybody probably would have doubled up and be like, yeah, Deion, you right.
Knock it off. Like, but if this was a former football player, I think it would be hold much more weight than it was. Player that's been seriously injured, a player that's seen some serious injuries that he's in the heat of the moment. This football game kept going on. Okay. I think it was solely because Skip has a reputation where people especially athletes, do not like him in the way he speaks about them. Yeah, he's never played. He's never been part of that football, that fraternity, that brotherhood. So the shit you be saying is like, my brother, you will never understand.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You never understand how this is gonna come off. So
completely. But yeah, so let's see. Skip had a few tweets. I'll just read a few of them.
Caused a bit of an uproar. Shout out Skip, Bayless, Shannon Sharpe, you know what I mean?
Definitely. So let's see. Here you go. It says, not sure what happened to Damar Hamlin. Players on both teams are shaking the ambulance out on the field. CPR administered. Can't remember play being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. He said, I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on football fields, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football for these players. This was different. And then the big one was, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of the game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems irrelevant.
Right.
That had everybody in uproar.
Yeah, it was. In my personal opinion, I thought a lot of people was trying to make it about themselves. I thought they was asking for some attention to hop on the hate bandwagon.
Yeah, of course.
For Skip. Although I do understand as especially like the athletes, former athletes, why that would come off as like something like, come on, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
It sounds real tasteless at that point. Like
it sounds nasty.
Yeah. I feel like you didn't think it all the way through. You know, I feel like I don't like the whole. What I've come to see, like a lot of people, they'll tweet something or say something really quick and then have to immediately double back, like, "Oh, I didn't mean it this way. I don't like that." I feel like you have time to think about what you're going to say. You know, especially like when you're tweeting it. I feel like that's something that you can sit here and think about and be like, how does this come off? Because you can sit, on Twitter, you can type your tweets, you can look and be like, hey, how does this read before you post it?
No, sir, it don't work like that. A tweet is literally like when Twitter is invented, you remember Twitter, that shit said, what's on your mind, what's your thoughts?
Yeah.
It's literally people speaking their mind in the moment.
Completely agree.
Whatever the context, whatever circumstance you're in, you're not thinking and reviewing how this is going to sound before. It don't matter who you are. I think people tweet what the fuck they want to tweet.
They do.
They tweet how they feel at the moment.
And then to double back, you have to.
But that's because the reaction, not because they really didn't mean what they said. That's what I've noticed.
Well, I mean, he did say that. He said he stand by his tweet.
Yeah, he's standing what the fuck he said. He said what he said. I'm not mad at Skip. I do understand the backlash, but I definitely think y'all are mad at who said it as opposed to what was said. Okay. If this was the most beloved person in the world, if this was Deion Sanders, knock it the fuck off, dog.
Oh yeah, everybody probably would have doubled up and be like, yeah, Deion, you right.
Knock it off. Like, but if this was a former football player, I think it would be hold much more weight than it was. Player that's been seriously injured, a player that's seen some serious injuries that he's in the heat of the moment. This football game kept going on. Okay. I think it was solely because Skip has a reputation where people especially athletes, do not like him in the way he speaks about them. Yeah, he's never played. He's never been part of that football, that fraternity, that brotherhood. So the shit you be saying is like, my brother, you will never understand.
Yeah, I completely agree.
You never understand how this is gonna come off. So
I completely agree. But really quick, what I want to play is because initially when it happened, the next day Shannon Sharpe wasn't on the show.
Who is a former football player, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest ever. So
Titans ever.
He's part of that football fraternity for sure.
And so he came back, and the following day he had some things to say, and it got a little interesting.
Yeah.
We'll just play it real quick.
Paralyzed on the morning. There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. Watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So they struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down.
Yeah, time out, nigga. Fuck you talking about.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, you go.
Go ahead. Let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I'm not even get through a monologue without you interrupting.
Okay.
You could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought,
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring it up.
No, I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where DeMar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanations, so clearly...
No, they did not have... Nobody...
Let's go, Jen.
That was interesting.
That's a rough exchange. Shit, that's a rough exchange. Go ahead, man. What's your thoughts on it?
As we was kind of briefly speaking about it before we got on camera, I understood where he was coming from, definitely. Like you said,
who was he?
Shannon. I understand where he was coming from, definitely, because, like, again, he's a former football player.
Right.
You know, he's witnessed injuries. He had been injured. He had seen people injured and
Even
things
somebody
like that.
close to
him, like his brother.
Yeah.
So I definitely understood where he stood on that part.
Okay.
As we spoke, I'm not mad at him bringing up the tweets. I'm not mad at him because I feel him. I definitely understood it. You got to bring that shit up sometimes. You got to bring that shit up. The boss's part, like we said, the boss's part, you know, but the tweet, I'm okay with you bringing that up. Because that's part of that was going to have to be talked about at some point in time. He got the backlash, and you weren't there the next day. Cool. You have to bring up that point. So I'm not mad at him bringing that up, man. You got to, hey, man, put your foot down and stand on that shit, man.
Well, one, Shannon didn't even go to work the first day after that tweet. I already thought that was like, damn, you kind of leave your mans on your own. But I also felt like that's not leaving your mans on your own. You're making a statement as like, I'm not fucking with you.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I took away.
I completely agree.
So then to come back and open the show and make it clear. Because you really tried to soft press him. Like, I hope he need to take it down. I'm letting y'all know out there. I told him to take this damn tweet down. I felt like it was really like he tried Skip's manhood as a partner, as a co-anchor, as a co-host on the show in front of millions of people just to make a statement to the community that he was specifically speaking to. I thought that was a little bit it's a little bit overzealous, a little bit inappropriate if that's somebody that you're working with.
What if I don't fuck with you? Like, we work together, but I don't fuck with you.
And that's fair, but I think that needs to be made clear. Like, I really didn't like what you did. We talked about this behind closed doors. We disagree. We can move forward with it. But for you to be like, I hope he takes it down. Hold on, man. I ain't taking nothing down. Because now it's almost like if you in the kitchen washing dishes, your mom come in there and say, I hope he clean all of them good. Well, I ain't cleaning nothing now. You don't come in telling me what I need to do with my fucking dishes. No, I'm clean. No, you clean them.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. Now you gotta double down on it. Like, all right, well, I thought about taking it down, but fuck you now.
So I understood why Skip interrupted him. So I do understand that you want to stand on what you stand on, and I'm actually glad he stood on what he stand on. Because when you apologize for something, which I think he actually did, it's an admittance that you actually did something wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then Shannon took it a little bit too far, man.
Saying about, obviously, the bosses.
He said, we had to talk about this. I was under the impression, which clearly they discussed it prior to pre-production. Mm-hmm. I was under the impression that we weren't going to talk about this because nobody here had an issue with it.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking to the culture of the show and the network as a whole. And you speaking to who got pulled behind the scenes type shit. Mm-hmm. Shannon unexposed. He took the wool from the eyes. He said, hold on, Skip. Your ass is on thin ice. They told your bum ass, take that shit down. They told you apologize. So don't front in front of the people. So
offer explanation
I thought
right
that's
now.
I thought that was like one of them things. It's like, it's almost like, okay, you're in a relationship, your girl do something wrong that you really didn't like. You don't call her out in front of the entire group.
Yeah, like while y'all out at the dinner table. Like, remember when you did such and such? Like, whoa, hold on, nigga.
I don't care that she said something public. If you want this to work, you handle that outside of the public eye. Now, if you done with her,
please blow that bitch up. I told you I ain't like that shit. Fuck wrong with you?
Now you got to expose it to the public. So that's how I felt about it. I thought it was nasty on both ends. I think it would have spoke volumes if he defended Skip, but I also felt like Shannon would have lost a lot of support. And especially coming off the heels if they just said Skip been disrespecting the fuck out of Shannon, calling him out, hey, you jealous of Tom Brady, you ain't got shit on Tom Brady, you a bum.
Did you see that shit? Yeah. Yo, that was extremely disrespectful.
I do think that was like, I really think it was just him showing like I'm fed up. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I'm
on this show to get paid. I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
So I felt like that's where it was at.
Yeah, but I think a public unraveling of things is always the best content, but that's nasty.
No. Hey, man, yo, get them numbers up, dog.
That's the Joe Budden shit. You don't, come on, bro. You don't go on your podcast and start throwing, dog. He was a bum. He was hiding laundry detergent in his room. Like, come on, dog.
That shit is funny.
Now we got beef happening.
He had no choice.
Shannon?
I feel like Shannon had no choice. Like, what else could he have done? Like, you didn't show up. He had to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, he had to say something like, oh, I don't like what went on or whatever to show his stance. Because if not, people would have been looking at him like, you know, you be on here disrespecting you so much you can't stand
you gonna go back.
Yeah, facts.
I agree. I also think the timing of that went into it too, because you're coming off the heels of being disrespecting everybody coming to your defense. So at this moment,
play middle ground or support him because that would have been worse.
I agree. But I also think, like, damn, if not showing up to work is such a crazy thing. You disagree with something, so you just don't show up to work. That's crazy to me.
I mean, it's half and half. Because, I mean, I feel like because he's so, if it was like Skip, like remember before first takeaway, if it was Skip and Stephen A., then I feel like Stephen A. shows up to work because you're not a former player. And you know, maybe that it's not going to hit you the same. I feel like because Shannon was so close to football, he was the football player, and seeing something like that happen before, like with his brother, that kind of may have hit him a different way. And my co-host just said something kind of like, the fuck? I don't know how I'm going to address you when I first see you. So give me a day to hold off and like get my thoughts together before I address you. Because now imagine he comes to work the first day and he just off the rails on that show.
Yeah, right. He really don't lose his job.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I kind of feel like the ball's in his court. Like, I had something that hit hurt me or whatever, so I can, you know, I have the leisure to be like, I need a day. Because if I come on here, I'm not gonna
be the best version of myself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the best version, so I need a day or whatever.
Y'all gonna be yelling cut quick as hell. Hey, whoa, what the fuck? Stop that shit. So I mean, I don't know. I think I agree. I do agree with y'all in the sense of like, yeah, I understood why he took the day off. I understood both sides.
Skip was disrespectful. I don't care.
I understood both sides, but I also think it was a nasty display of behind the scenes shit. I think that was a nasty display.
It definitely was. But yo, sometimes you gotta get the views.
Exactly. That was my thing.
Open them up
because he definitely pump faked him, bro. I was under the impression y'all clearly talked y'all clearly.
No, he was like, yeah, bro, we ain't even gonna talk about that. Leave that alone.
Nigga, look what you said. Exactly. That's why it almost made me want to side with Skip because I could tell, like, hold on,
his face was like,
hold on, wait,
sir, this is not. Hey, wait, you talking about?
And then, like, you didn't even sneak it in. You started the show with that bullshit. Like, hold on, I ain't taking nothing down.
Yo, Skip tweeted and I did not like it, and I want him to take it down. Hey.